think of staffing, you think of recruiters. And I think that that's, an important experience to have. Now, at the same time, you hear recruiters. I don't know if people really know exactly what a recruiter does, everything that goes into the job. So
Yep.
could you explain a little bit of that? Like, from your perspective, what does a recruiter do?
Yeah, absolutely. I will try to put it as simply as I possibly can. But basically, recruiters essentially partner with our clients to find incredible folks that can do, the jobs that our clients have. So essentially, our recruiters are taking those open requirements from our clients and going out and finding the right person to fit those roles. In addition, so not only are we keeping our clients' needs, at interest, but we are also trying to keep our employees' interests at, top of mind as well, and really ensuring that we're finding the perfect match for both talent and client.
Yeah, that's a lot to juggle, right? Because I'm sure, clients have things that they 100% feel they need to get the job done and to build the right team and achieve their business goals. And then on the other side of it, it's extremely difficult to be a job seeker and, find something that fits for you, not only what you need to survive, the right pay, the right benefits, but also something that clicks, and something that's a right fit for you as a person. And to be in the middle of both of those things, it sounds like quite a
A little
challenge.
difficult. It
Yeah.
is a little difficult.
Talent Today, for folks that don't know, is a sister company to Medix and does a lot of work with people analytics, right? And that's a big scientific term to just talk about, really what are the personality factors, the motivations, the behaviors that make a person who they are, makes them unique. And in particular, they are great at specializing at how people carry that into the workplace and the relationships they build at work and the way that they work, what makes them thrive, what gives them challenges based on those dimensions of personality. And one of the nice things is that at Medix, we take these MyPrint assessments and we really use them to see sort of how a manager might interact with their team, how two teammates may interact with each other, and try to find ways to improve the employee experience across the board. So with all that information there, right, we have our recruiters taking these MyPrint soft skills assessments. We figured, why not use the tools in front of us to get a little bit of insight about our recruiters generally. So we ran analysis through what's called the Group DNA tool through Talent Today. And what that does is essentially match up the main personality traits and motivations of a group that you're focusing on to find out like what rises to the top? What is the most common things that this group shares as a connection, as themes for their personality? And I think the results were pretty interesting and sort of buck all of those misconceptions that are out there, because it paints a very different picture of the recruiter at Medix. The first thing I wanted to touch on was that the research revealed in the ebook that these are the top 4 personality traits that came through: extroverted, assertive, confident, and positive. So when you hear those words, is that something that rings generally true to you when you think about recruiters?
I think so. Yeah, I think 100% it does. When I think of myself back when I recruited several years ago, I'd say I hit 3 of those 4 pretty well. I don't know if I would consider myself extroverted, but most of the recruiters that I know are. Because look, we're working with people all day, every day. Right? That is, people are our product, people are our livelihood. So it's hard, like if you don't have just that kind of natural knack, to talk to folks and to build relationships. I do think this industry, this profession would be probably a little bit tough.
This is interesting to me too, because it's all on a range, right? So these are things that came out to the top, but there are certainly recruiters that have filled out, these assessments that maybe don't check all these boxes.
Yes.
But when we're talking about common themes that emerge over time, these get there, and maybe you start a little bit more introverted, and this helps you get out of your shell a little bit, or expand that area of your personality to learn how to interact with people and build those relationships. I was very interested too about the assertiveness, the confidence. That's something that I'm sure when you're working with a job seeker, they want to see that projected from their recruiter, the person that's going to be guiding them through that, because you come to a recruiter when you're looking for help, when you want someone to show you that direction. So to have that sort of confidence behind you to say, yes, I think this is a great fit for your career and you should go for it, makes a big difference. And then that last piece of the puzzle that's here is, being positive, which, I think is a very different thing that I don't think I see in my head when I hear headhunter. I just think of, someone aggressively throwing people into roles and just getting the job done. But that positive element is something that's forgotten a lot, right? I mean, it can be exhausting on a job search. It can be heartbreaking in a lot of ways. And you need someone in your corner that's going to be positive and, keep you going throughout that sometimes. And you would hope that a recruiter could do that for you, if that's someone you're reaching out to for help at that point in your search. Motivations are a little bit different, personality, it's kind of what's coming out to the surface. Like you said, good adjectives to describe someone. Motivations are, something that are driving, people to want to keep doing the work they do and to succeed in their roles. And the ones that we saw come through for recruiters were, there a big need for sharing responsibility, support, socializing, and affiliation. And I mean, those are a lot of terms to me that speak to teamwork and, a group working together. So, why do you think these terms, these motivations stand out for this type of work in particular?
When you think about those two terms, sharing responsibility, socializing, I feel like those kind of go hand in hand, right? So I feel like it's just kind of natural that if you have and display some of these traits and then also feel the need these certain things in order to be, in order to be great, in order to be successful, I feel like it's just kind of natural, right? Sharing responsibility, 100%. Recruiting is certainly a team game. Like, I don't think I would have been able to get through my recruiting career without the team behind me, right? Because recruiting's hard. There are some ups and downs. There are some good days and some bad days. And just this idea of team and this idea of some of those things you just mentioned, Andy, like, are so crucial in order to continue to get through. Same thing like affiliation, support, like those are all things that, like I just mentioned, like I don't know if I would have been able to get through without the team behind me, right? And I think that's one of the best things about working here at Medix is kind of the team nature and the team environment that we have and that we hold here.
Work has changed so much in the last few years. I'm sure we've all noticed it, and especially in the staffing world, because we're so focused on employment. So as work becomes more hybrid and remote, do you see, the role of recruiting changing at all? And how would you say some of these, soft skills and motivations that are revealed from this ebook, how does that sort of play into the new world of employment that's out there right now?
That's a really good question, and I think it really depends on the company, right? I feel like a lot of companies out there are doing a lot of different things right now. Some are going back into the office, some are staying remote, some are figuring out some sort of hybrid schedule. I think some of what we just mentioned in terms of the traits and the motivators and stuff like that we typically see recruiters display, I don't think we lose sight of any of that, whether you're in an office, you're hybrid, or you're remote, right? Recruiting is recruiting, no matter where you're doing it. And so I think just staying true to you and staying true to some of the traits that you display that make you successful, I think will ultimately drive you forward. Check out the new ebook from Talent Today, What Makes a Recruiter Tick. It's a great quick read that identifies the soft skills that drives recruiters. Whether you're considering working with a recruiter or becoming one yourself, I recommend you download yourself a copy today.